Hello and welcome to the QA Therapy podcast. Are you looking to improve your overall testing and quality practices? My name is Sergio Freire and I'm a solution architect and a testing advocate at Xray.
And my name is Cristiano Cunha, and I'm also a solution architect and test advocate. And we'll be your hosts and QA therapists throughout this series. In this podcast, we're going to tackle some of the most common testing and quality challenges that we all face in our teams. So if this sounds good to you, keep on listening. In this episode, we will talk about learning and how that is important to evolve the skills we use for testing. To assist us on this topic, we have a special guest with us, so please stay tuned. But let's see what brings you here. What are the symptoms you may be feeling that has brought you to this session? Let me ask you some simple questions to see if you relate. Does your organization think of testers as simple checkers? Do you feel testing is being done at high level, looking just at the obvious? Do you like ideas for what to test next? Or do you feel you don't have the know-how to test a certain aspect of your system?
So, what is the problem here? All these are symptoms that testing is not fully understood. Its implicit value and how important is it to assess the quality in our projects. Maybe testing is undervalued in your organization. Maybe quality is that vague concept. Maybe the organization thinks we can have bug-free products if we or the testers have tested everything up front. Seeking quality requires understanding of what matters for these different stakeholders and then work actually towards it. To understand what matters and assess the related risks requires a set of expert skills we as humans can develop. Let's dive a bit into this topic. It's time for diagnosis and prescription, and today we have here with us Emna Ayadi, our expert QA therapist, to assist on diagnosis and prescription on these symptoms related to testing skills. Emna is a very active testing community member. I'll be involved in different testing related activities such as meetups, conferences, and many other. When I think of Emna, the word learner comes to my mind because she's a learning addict. She embraces challenges continuously, and thus she evolves. And also in her path, she not only shares their progress, but she also keeps helping others along the way. Welcome, Hemna. Are you comfortable on our QA therapy couch?
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me in this episode. I'm very excited to be with you and to share things about learning, testing, and all what you mentioned in the introduction.
Nice, welcome. So let's jump into some questions. So when we talk about learning, it's always to develop skills. And in this area, sometimes we think that skills are something that are born with us. But in testing, some may think that testing is just executing predefined test cases that, well, just appears. So how do you think this view, what's your opinion about this view that testers are just there to execute test cases? What are we missing here?
Well, a lot of things. Well, testing is actually far from just executing test cases. I consider that as one of the big misconceptions that maybe people outside of the industry can take it or say this is a stupid job, people are just executing test cases. But in reality, testing is more than that. It consists of many activities that could be done across the whole development cycle. It varies from identifying risk, testing the assumption while planning, doing, for example, example mapping with your team, when you try to understand the different user stories that you have, or designing, updating what need to be automated. More than that, so even keeping an eye on observation and monitoring activities. So there are a lot of activities that I cannot mention all of them in this short time, but the most important, it's not just executing test cases.
So, one question that I have for you, and whenever we think on working on this testing space, and we talk about skills, do you think we can be stale, that we can be, let's say, calm and not evolve our skills? Because I still see many people in the testing space living really happily with the knowledge that they have and not searching for improving. Why it's important to evolve our skills, especially for a tester?
Well, I've never seen a project that is static from the beginning till the end. And even if it is, you will one day jump to another project. So as a conclusion, it's important to stay up to date to the market, and you will not use the same tool or the same technology over and over again. So you need to adapt yourself to what the market is offering, or what the customers' challenges are. And for that, you need to stay up to date to recent technology and try to be a continuous learner and not just using all what you know, and try to be open.
And also, Emna, also risks, they are not really stale, they evolve, right? Depending on context. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that
and even
sometimes people,
And the funny
yeah,
thing is like,
please go
yeah,
ahead.
and the funny thing, the more that you know, sorry,
go ahead.
the more that you know things, you will know what you don't know already, and you feel like you still need to know a lot of things to be up to date.
Yeah.
Maybe people who are just static with their skills, they will not feel that they need to learn a lot.
Yeah, and I feel that the ones that are not that into learning, into evolving, are not that involved in the project, in the organization. Because even in the organization will evolve, will change the way the processes are going, change the workflows. And if you are not aware of what's out there, you probably will not be able to help on those transitions. So I think, yeah, I'm totally aligned with you about we need to continue evolving, especially in testing. But now we are in this 21st century. And what are the skills that you think a tester should have in this stage? Can you tell us a little bit more about that project? So you have a product that is the 21st century skills for a tester that we saw. So how do you start it? What are the skills that are there that you are identifying? And what are you trying to achieve with it?
The 21st century skills, first of all, represent interhuman skills, and we refer to them as the 4 C's, which are
Mhm.
communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. This project actually started during the pandemic with a simple discussion with Arde Kramer. What link can we establish between those skills and testing? So we find that this is an engaging topic, and both of us were so motivated about it. So after the first discussion, we already have the idea to create a bilingual book, and it's a book created by stories from the communities. It contains 243 stories from testers around the world, and it's organized into two different parts. One is how testers apply already those skills in their work, and the other part is how do they think, how can we apply those skills in the
Mhm.
future. So it's like between present and future. So the book goal is to inspire testers with the stories and idea how can we improve testing in a given situation just by using soft skills.
Yeah, focusing on soft skills.
So Emna, and let's say in your perspective and for you, for yourself, if you had to enumerate like the top skills that are most important for you as a tester in a short conversation.
Mhm.
Well, I try to keep it short. Well, first of all, one of the important skills that I see, being a details-oriented person. So, because paying attention to details since the beginning of the process could help us in preventing bugs, and it also help in building the quality into your software. It's also important to be a critical thinker, because this is one of the key
Not take
aspects of
things for granted.
testers. So tester is the tester. Uh, yeah, the tester is the one who can see things differently and ask good question, um, and any tester can tackle the unknowns by like Jerry Weinberg, who said testing is someone who knows that things can be different.
Exactly.
And another one is like a continuous learner, as we said, that we need to adapt to new technology and tools. So it's important to be that continuous learner and try to follow what the market is looking for and adapt yourself. And another skill is being a good communicator. So if you look deeper of what kind of problem the team is facing, you will find out that the most important one is maybe related to soft skills before even talking about hard skills, which means that solving interhuman problems and being a good communicator is one of the key success
Yeah.
factor of agile teams. And I would also add being a good facilitator and quality advocate by coaching your team members, even if developers or product owner or any member try to see their vision and try to improve the vision of the whole team toward quality by sharing testing practices, as quality is a whole
Yeah,
team approach.
definitely important. I will just add one thing for me that has made a difference as a tester is all of that. And sometimes we have a difference between, well, we need to be really attentive to detail and deep dive on those features and everything. But then we need to have that high level view and understand how my project is fitting into the whole company organization and users. So yeah, it's a good I think tester is a really good job to have if you like the area, because like you said, you have a different set of skills that you need to have. And one of those skills that now we heard a lot about is automation skills or coding skills. Do you think they are important for a tester to have?
Of course, it's great to have them, and it depends on what kind of project you are working in. If let's say it's a completely back-end testing, so of course you'll need them. But also you can also work in testing without having those skills. So it depends what kind of project you are in, but it's always a great add-on to have this kind of computer background. But diversity is also important. We find even people who jump to testing from a completely different background and they don't know coding and they are a successful tester.
I
Yeah.
remember someone that we had on the team that came from like a biomedical kind of background, and actually, as a tester, was quite good. Um, one question still related with test automations. Do you think that, well, we see many test automation engineers out there, or many people searching for just for test automation engineers, and uh, but I see also often that I've seen at least in some scenarios that uh, sometimes these test automation engineers just limit themselves to coding skills. Um, do you have? I'm not sure if that's also that your experience, but do you have any tips for test automation engineers that are in that stage in order to evolve to be actually good testers and not just coders of UI test scripts?
Well, that's a good topic, and everyone can find himself there from automation. One of the time in my community, I ran a kind of coffee discussion, and one of those people of automation engineer mentioned that he suffers from being too far from the functional part, and he's like doing only the things that he is receive. You need to do that as automated test. um, so he's like one sprint far from their colleagues, so he's not synchronized, he's not attending the team meetings, he's too far from the project, he's like seeing it only from the technical stuff. What I proposed at that time is like try to be involved early in the process, try to at least attend to team meetings, the most important, to see the priority, where to focus the risk, try to add your opinion, not just receive and automate what you have been told. And an important thing I can add is also pairing. If this test automation engineer pair with developer, or I don't like to call it manual tester, but let's say the tester who is not involved in the automation but working in the same team, try to pair together and discuss different elements. When you are testing, maybe you will find interesting thing together, and then you will decide what to automate. At least be involved in this decision, what we need to
Yeah,
automate, etc.
I think it's a good balance to have, because we cannot be only coding. We need to have the other skills. And for all of the skills that we have been talking about, more soft skills like communication and all of those things, and automation or technical skills, what do you think it's the skill that is tougher to learn for a tester, in your opinion, of course?
Well, maybe making a good decision at the right time. You need
Yeah, that's a hard one to have. Not just for testers. Yeah, and how do you suggest
yeah.
to develop that skill?
Yeah, that's a hard question.
Sometimes we don't need an answer. It's
yeah.
just you need to be out there
um,
and to expose yourself more and have more experience on that field, because and have information. Right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, experience is important. Yeah, maybe try to refer to previous experience, see how things work usually, and try to um, see the positive and the negative side of doing things. Try to study risk very well before taking decision, and at the same time sometimes we need fast decision because we
Yeah.
need to move forward. Well, there is a book for that, the Think Fast and Slow. It's important. You can understand the mind structure and how the mind can think in both cases.
Mhm.
Maybe it could help testers.
Yeah, that's actually a good reference, and I'm just thinking also about thinking slow about the um, the fact that we have to take a decision, and well, in testing it's so broad and sometimes we struggle. Well, um, how can I bring value to the table? What is the best thing that I can bring to the table? And you also mentioned, let's say, the diversity, having different backgrounds, and of course the more and more background we have, the more and more experience we know, we will know probably better how we can contribute in a way that maybe facilitates more the team. Maybe the team is blocked in one aspect, and maybe that's where we need to focus our attention on, perhaps. Um, I also wanted to ask you about also related to this topic of learning skills and how important is for a tester to actually be hands-on or to actually exercise testing, because we have this kind of theory and then we have practice. So how relevant is the practice for a tester?
Well, I see it important, and
Mm.
also it's good to combine with theory. If you just test without having a structure in your mind, what we want to do, let's take an example. For example, you want to do an exploratory testing session, so it's important to make it structured. You have some theoretical thing to present to the this is what we want to do, and this is how can we use exploratory testing to generate new testing ideas. So present the theory and then try to practice it. Also practice allow us to discover and learn more about the product. And the next iteration, you will find yourself with more questions because you experienced that already.
Yeah, and you talk about a book just now. So, do you have any other recommendations for a tester that is starting their career? What are the good books out there? I imagine you have a long list, so two or
Well,
three.
there is a new book actually. Yeah, but I'll try to keep only one to not make a long list, but an effective one for those who want to start their career in software testing. There is actually a new one released in the
Mhm.
last few months by
Yeah,
Nicola
the career.
Lindgren.
Yeah.
It's called Starting Your Software Testing Career. So this is a good one because it's split it into different parts and it covers all what the new tester need to know when he
Nice.
just joined the field. It's a guide like to find your first role, upskilling, what are the skills, the relevant job in the market, how to stay relevant, and how to succeed in your role once you started. So I recommend
It's
everyone
like
who starts his
a kind.
career
It
to read
presents
this
kind of
book.
a roadmap for evolving, uh, if I understood it correctly.
Yeah, kind of different chapters, and every chapters take one of the things that a tester could need when he's just starting.
And I could not skip the blogging part because we know that you are like a really frequent blogger. And do you see blogging also as a way for improving your own skills, or is just a way to share your findings so others can learn from them? How do you see blogging with skills connected, if you see a relation there?
Well, maybe yeah, maybe it's both parts. And for me, when I write something, when I write my takeaways, it's a way for me that I try to explain it to someone else who will read it, which means that myself, I understand it better because maybe the way I took stupid notes myself, it's not very relevant. If I read it after a period, which are draft notes, it's not good. But when I structured in a blog, try to visualize it better, I feel I understand things better myself. So this is one of the most important advantage. And also when you try to share it with others in the community, you will promote a kind of a discussion around that topic, and this is a way to have a good feedback or maybe things to improve or things to consider, and maybe this will make you think about your next topic that you will take as a reason to make some research and maybe to write something else about it. And it's
It's
also a
also
good
like an
way to
opportunity for learning,
yeah, sorry.
learning new topics.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, topic it's like iterative. A topic you will find another topic after the one you published just based on discussion, or maybe people sometime ask is do you have a blog about that, or and it's also a way to share your experience as memories. Sometime I even open one of my previous blog, because I know that I have some details I shared sometime. So even for myself, it's relevant. I come back to some of the blogs, and it's a good way to stay relevant.
Yeah, I share
this
your
today
opinion. It's a
world.
good way for the one that is blogging to learn new things, to expose themselves, but also for the one that are reading, that are searching for information about that topic, to read about read about it in good blogging posts. And the other part that we have also here in testing are certifications. We heard sometimes, or some companies require those ISTQB certification or some kind of order. Do you think these certifications are essential for a tester or not so much?
Well, I have like two parts here, because it depends. Firstly, maybe it's important to look what are the certifications that are available in the global market that are related to our field, in that case, testing, because sometimes customers are referring to those as a standard. So maybe sometimes you are obliged, let's say, to have this overview about certification schema and to understand better what your customer is looking for. This is from one side. And from another side, even if you just have a look about it, you are not obliged to even take it. You at least you know the content. But for juniors, for example, that are just starters in the field, I think it's good for them to just have the basics of this certification. Mostly if their organization want them to be certified for any of the reason. But also, I see a lot of testers who are not certified and who are doing good jobs. So it's not something essential. It depends on which cases you are, and you can have an overview about certification and try to use it as a reference. Maybe one of the clients is referring to it as a standard. I
Yeah.
faced that in some of the
And
assignments.
from those courses, do you have any that you would recommend, that you already taken and you think, oh, this one is good?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, we talked about automation. So I can add, even if you don't have all the skill set to automation, you can, if you are a continuous learner, you can learn automation. And today is very accessible.
Oh.
You can go to Test Automation University. There are a lot of courses that you can take the one related to your needs. This is a good resource. There are also lots of courses within the Ministry of Testing website for whether accessibility, whether coding, or even critical thinking, different ways to learn as a tester. Maybe also a new resource that I discovered recently, at least for me, LinkedIn Learning. There are some courses they are adding new courses related to testing in LinkedIn. It could be a good resources as well. And they are also short, quick, with
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know
great
those ones about
takeaways
LinkedIn,
at the end
so
of each
I may
course.
have to look at those.
There is a nice one about exploratory testing. I saw it maybe a few weeks ago.
Nice. Yeah, I think courses are a good way, like you said, to investigate a little bit more, hearing about it from professionals that have some experience on it. So I believe are a good way to start. If you are starting, I don't know, performance testing, looking at a course of regarding performance testing is a good way to try to feel how to approach that. And the other part we have,
good to ask questions.
Oh yeah, and to interact. We have also the other part that I know that you are keen about, that are conferences and meetups. And sometimes they are not that well seen in companies because they think we go into vacations just to go to the conference and it's just fun. But how can we use those conferences and meetups to improve our testing skills?
Well, I see there is a lot of added value from conferences in my career. For example, you will attend to different talks and to workshops. You will experience something that you have never seen in your let's say, comfort zone in the company where you are working. Maybe you never saw it this way. So it's an opportunity to practice and to learn from experts in the domains. And talking about experts, that means that you will also meet them in person. You will meet the world experts of your field in person. This is actually, from one side, motivating. From another side, you can even discuss with them about their career. You can find your role model in the conference. You can ask question about the career path that you want to take, or maybe it's also an opportunity to bring that learning to your team, facilitate the takeaways from the conference, share with them whether a template from a workshop you attended, or do it yourself at your site. So there is a lot of learnings when it comes to conferences and meetups.
Yeah, and there are two things that I really like, and I already told you, that is, first one, when I go to conferences, I level up how the testing area is, and I'm feeling, well, I'm not alone. There are other testers feeling that way, so
Yeah.
I'm not that strange of a guy just fighting my battles. There are other guys feeling the same thing. And the other thing is, I really get pumped up, so I really get inspiration from
Yes.
those conferences.
And I add also, when you come back after a conference to work, you feel all the motivation, and you feel like even you are like a booster. You get a booster to work again. You are working even quickly, having better idea, better question, more confidence,
Yeah,
because you discussed that topic with one of the word expert, or you attended to a session related to that. So
yeah,
I encourage everyone to attend at least one conference per year. It's a great add-on. Or even start
yeah,
with organizing local meetups within a community.
yeah. It's a great way to evolve also. Coming back a little bit to your team, and like you said, well, the tester is there not only to test, but also to leverage testing and making a concern of all the team instead of being just a tester. So any exercise that you will recommend to do at a team level to improve those testing skills?
Well, when you said team level, I assume that you are not mentioning just testers. Maybe you are referring to
Oh,
everyone.
exactly. Yeah.
Um,
I,
so
I'm thinking about an agile team.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
are
yeah.
one tester in the.
Yeah, so maybe one of the people are less skilled than others in testing. Maybe it's a good way to bring them all together and organize a bug bash. Try to bring a risky functionality from your product or a new released functionality, and try to invite everyone, structure their exploration, and give them the room for that, to do this kind of bug bashing, if I can say it, kind of a, let's say, exploratory testing session also,
Yeah.
whether pairing or as a team. This is a good way to share this testing knowledge, and also you can add retrospective to your if it's not already there, to your sprint at the end, and try to see what are the area that we want to improve in testing as a team. Try to use this as an entry to know from where you can think about next topic to improve our testing skills in the team.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Pairing for me, it's one form of collaboration that will show the team how a tester thinks and share that path instead of just sharing the outcome that sometimes are not well understood. So
Yeah,
I'm totally
yeah,
with you on that.
and you can get even new idea from developer when you are discussing with them certain topic. This could be great input even for you. So it's like a win-win for everyone who participate in the pairing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and looking at the tester and the tester career, like you suggested that book from regarding the tester career evolution. How do you see this evolution within testing? We see, well, the normal way is tester, test manager, probably test coach in the future. Do you see a path that is more common for growing in the testing space? And if not, what is your perspective, your experience, and how do you think this will be in the future?
Well, for testing path, maybe there are different paths, and everyone is the owner of the path he wants to build, because maybe my path is different from another one, and another one has a completely different path. So my advice here is like focus on what you want to do in the future, what motivates you the most as a tester, maybe more technical or maybe more management, more coaching. Try to understand better what you want to achieve. And if this is clear for you, and then try to look for the next steps, what need to be done in order to reach the goals that you want or the path that you dream to get. For me, I'm more into this part of testing and coaching. I'd like to become more and more the facilitator, the coaching the team, testing practices, improving testing in the organization. So I just said that since I joined my recent job last year to my manager, this is what I want to achieve. And they put me in the right department where there are people who manage the transformation of agile transformation, let's say, or testing.
Mhm.
And there is kind of courses how you can make an audit in the organization and then improve it, improve depending on your finding what need to be done. So this is one of the things that I'm working in the future, now and for the future, to be that person who try to understand what we can improve and what need to be done for the whole team to improve those quality engineering practices in the organization.
Imna, and as time flies, but I think we still have time for one last question.
Yeah, of
And
course.
um, in general, and at a very high level, uh, can you try to enumerate some of the sources that comes to mind whenever thinking about improving testing related skills?
Well, my favorite resource is actually communities. Because when you want to improve something, if you are within a community, within your organization or external community, like for example, I mentioned the Slack of Ministry of Testing or any other community, it's good that you see people uh, who do the same thing as you want to do, or you find the right channel to ask for help on what need to be done. And this is a good way for you to get the motivation and the path what need to be done to start this. So I think this is a good way to start
Yeah,
your culture of quality, and you can even implement your own community at work and try to bring people together to talk about what is their favorite topics and what they want to improve.
I totally agree with you, Emna, because uh, before I was I remember that before I was uh, so much into the testing topic. I was not really aware that there was this so helpful community, so active community around testing, and it was really amazing to find that it not only exists, but it's really a way where we can all learn together. It's an opportunity for learning, also for sharing, for growing. So I think that we should all try to involve in testing communities in all sorts of the ways that these communities are exist nowadays. Once again, thanks for being here with us, Emna. It was really a pleasure. We all learned so much with you once again. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Thank you so much for inviting me and for all the interesting conversation we had together. Wish you all the best, and I'm looking forward to your future episode.
Thank you, Emma.
Thank you.
So see you in our next therapy session. Happy testing.
Happy testing.